All right, guys, congratulations. You both made it to round 3 of the competition, where we will send you to your home forges for 4 days to make this iconic weapon from U.S. military history. And that weapon is the Springfield 1905 Bayonet. We will be providing a Springfield 1903 replica rifle to you. Your bayonets must fit snugly and securely on your rifles.
Developed in the early 1900s, the M1905 Springfield bayonet was used by American infantry for nearly 70 years, from World War I through the Vietnam War. These versatile weapons were designed with a mechanical device in the pommel that attached securely to the rifle, while also featuring a comfortable handle, making it a very effective weapon in hand-to-hand combat. Featuring a sharp single edge, a long fuller, and a false edge, this lightweight bayonet could quickly deliver stabs and slashes to an opponent. The bayonet is still used today during military ceremonies and can be seen in several classic war films like 1998's The Thin Red Line.
All right, gentlemen, when you guys build your bayonets, I want you to follow these parameters. Your blade needs to be between 15 and 16 inches with a fuller and a false edge at the tip, as well as a muzzle ring guard.
I'm a little nervous with it. I've never done a guard on a knife before, let alone with a keyhole. And I know with the bayonets, they usually have a place in the back of the handle where it locks into the rifle. There's a lot of first.
All right, gentlemen, good luck. We'll see you in 4 days.
Good luck, man.
My main plan is to get the whole blade forged out. I guess I could grind it to shape, but then it's not forged in fire. I have everything forged out, pullers are in, rough dimensions are there, I'm happy. So right now I have my groove cut. These are gonna be the rest of my pommel. They are going to go like so, and then be welded like that. So I have to use my angle grinder very, very, very carefully and scribe this line in thick enough that it fits on those rails. Line everything up. Hey! It works. I got my scales all cut out. They fit relatively nice. Now I'm working on getting my pin, but that's gonna look pretty cool when it's done. I have my knife all glued up. Now that it's dry, I'm ready to take the clamps off, and we'll start profiling the handle. At the end process, it's probably one of the best things I've made. I'm pretty proud of this.
So I'm back in Lancaster, Ohio at my home forge. I've never made anything this big before. All right, so I got the edges cleaned up fairly well. Overall, my knife is pretty straight. It's got some little wobbles in there, but that's from forging. A little less than 1/8 of an inch to remove from this thing, and we're good. I'm going to punch my knife. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in this process. Let's do this. So I'm not hearing any weird noises or any pings, so I think I'm in good shape. The biggest challenge of this build is getting that locking mechanism to work. So now we're going to test fit this. There she is. I try to really pride myself in my fit and finish, and I'm pretty confident in my knife. I'm really happy with it. I wouldn't want to be on the other end of this thing. Let's see what it does. Yeah, this thing is sweet. Let's see. This thing is sharp. Dude, that didn't even make any noise. It just stabbed right through it.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. The first mission today is to take your bayonet and affix it to the Springfield rifle and deliver some killing blows on this ballistics dummy. Then I will dismantle the blade from the rifle, and let's see what kind of lethal damage it will do on its own. Josh, you're up first. You ready?
As ready as I can be. That's pretty badass.
All right, Josh, let's talk about your bayonet here. When I affixed this onto the rifle, it had a very nice match with the railing in there and your pin. It was very secure. Now, your edge is very sharp. It definitely lacerates deep into the bone. On its own, the handle construction matches nicely on my hand. Overall, sir, it will kill.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, Brad, your turn. So you ready for this?
Let's go for it.
Ooh. All right, Brad, first up, the handle construction. It is a little bit on the smaller side, but there are no sharp edges. And the flare you have there actually gives me good retention, and I can get all the way to the guard. At first, I was a little bit worried about your cutter pin right here. It looked flimsy, but the minute I put it on, it wasn't an issue at all. It stayed affixed to the bayonet quite tightly. Your weapon is straight. Every cut was very deep into this ballistics dummy. Overall, sir, your weapon will kill.
Thank you, sir.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test. The steel can stab and barricade chop. This test is all about what happens to your bayonets and not what happens to the targets. Josh, you're up first. You ready?
Nope. No. Well, here's my finish.
All right, Josh. Well, you survived really well. There is sections on here that are now not as sharp as they were, but nothing rolled over, nothing chipped out. I mean, your point is still nice and sharp. It performed really well in the strength test. Nice job.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, Brad, be ready for this.
Well, my nan said don't break it, but go for it.
Oh, Brad, what you got here, your blade edge took some damage. The blade's taken a bit of a bend to one side here. It's cheating to the right. But your point didn't take any damage. It's all in one piece. It's a nice, sturdy blade. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test, the military bag slice. To find out how sharp your edges and point of your bayonets are, I'm going to take a stab at these military bags. Josh, you're up first. You ready?
Let's go for it.
All right, Josh, your bayonet right here had no problems puncturing the bag and slicing it to pieces. You'll cut.
Sweet, thanks.
All right, Brad, your turn, sir. Shall we do it?
Of course. Have at you.
Pew, pew, pew. All right, Brad, let's talk about your blade here. Wicked sharp. It punctured easily in the military bag. At the same time, the edges cut like hot steel on butter. Overall, sir, for this test, you will cut.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, well, you both brought us amazing work. Only one of you will go home with the title. And the Forge and Fire champion is... Josh.
Holy
Congratulations. Brad, unfortunately, you're not going home with the win today, and Doug's going to tell you why.
I commend you on your work. Your knife performed very well on our test, but it was also the only knife that took a bend on the strength test. And for that reason, your blade did not make the cut.
Brad, unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to ask you to please leave the forge floor.
I understand. Have a good one, guys.
pleasure, man.
Thank you. When it comes to the judge's final decision, I can't argue with it at all. I'm extremely proud of my work. That was probably the best blade I've ever made so far. This has just been a dream come true, and I'm just so grateful to be where I am right now, even if I am going home.
Well, Josh, that means you are the Forge and Fire champion, and you're going home with a check for $10,000. How does it feel, bud?
I feel awesome.
Congratulations.
I don't even know, man. I'm still trying to sink in that I won this. I won. A little overwhelming. I can't wait to tell my wife. She had a lot of confidence in me from the very start. I'm excited to let her know that, hey, you were right, you know, I won.
Hey, Ben, Jay, how you guys doing?
Hey, Dave, what you doing, man?
Hey guys, what's up?
I'm down here at my new place in Virginia, and I'm still kind of building the shop, but Well, I was thinking, we've got this downtime between shooting the show. It might be fun to do a little challenge among the three of us. Me challenge Ben, Ben challenge Jay, Jay challenge me, something like that.
So one person finishes and then challenges the next one. Sounds good to me.
So what I thought was that we'll do a home build. We're always making the Smiths do this. So I figure, let's do one. Let's show off what we can do.
See if I can remember how.
Get all the rust off my anvil.
So, no, well, what I was thinking, we'd do it a little bit differently. We'll give each other 2 weeks to complete the challenge. I know that's a little longer than we usually give the Smiths, but I figure let's do something kind of outside our normal comfort zone. Do something, a little bit more above and beyond.
All right.
Works for me.
Okay, Ben, you're always talking about the Sutton Hoo sword. You even told me that you saw it in a museum in England.
Absolutely, yeah.
Look, I know it's an incredibly intricate sword, but you're always saying how you wanted to do one, and now's the perfect chance.
Oh, no. In 2 weeks, make a Sutton Hoo sword.
Yeah, I know.
Ben's gonna be switching over to makeshift for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave.
Found in the burial ground of Sutton Hoo in modern-day Suffolk, England, the sword was presumably wielded by King Redwald in the early 7th century. The blade features intricate-made pattern welding, twisting steel and wrought iron to create a unique Damascus pattern, while the handle itself was just as elaborate and was inlaid with gold and garnet. Over 1,300 years later, the sword was painstakingly recreated by Scott Langton and is now on display alongside the original in the British Museum. Look, you're always saying how much you love that sword, but hey, it's gonna be fun, and we gotta test them. So, Ben, figure out how you're gonna test that sword and what you wanna test it on, okay?
Sounds good.
Have fun, man. I'll see you in 2 weeks, okay? 2 weeks.
I think I'm going to mutter about you a lot in the next 2 weeks, but thanks. I better get to work. In this build, my reputation is on the line, not globally, but within the three of us. So I want to make sure I impress everybody. I'm going to start by making my 8 bars, which is going to be high layer Damascus, and then I'll draw those out into these rods. Then I'm going to twist it and stop twisting, and twist it and stop twisting. Then comes the forge welding 4 together this way, the other 4 together this way, except the top where they're twisted, the bottom are straight. Then weld those layers together for the twisted core. Then make the edge steel by making next one stack. Draw it out and wrap that all the way around the end, and then forge weld that whole thing together. Well, guys, it's been 2 weeks, and here it is. Sutton Hoo sword.
That is gorgeous. Look at that pattern.
Wow, Ben, that sword looks beautiful.
The dimensions, that thing looks huge.
Not the most nimbly weighted sword in the world.
It'll kick some butt, that's for sure.
So the plan is to test for strength on some bamboo. And then for sharpness, I have a whole lot of shipping boxes lying around. So I set one up here. I'm going to see if I can't cut it in half. Make it easier to get in the recycling bin. I'm actually nervous about the testing. This is a long, very complex welded sword. Things might let go. I don't want to break this thing to forever.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thanks, man. Here we go.
Oh, man, that's great.
The edge held up all right. Everything's still right and tight. So now let's see how sharp the thing is. Oh! Well, there it is.
Good job, man. That's incredible.
That's a good job, Ben.
Thank you, man. So yeah, now it's your turn, eh, Jay?
All right, what do you got for me?
How about you make me a chopper out of material you've never used before?
You know, it's funny you mention that because there is a few different materials that I haven't tried yet that I've been wanting to.
And then I want you to go like full Neilson on this thing and test it as hard as you can on some of the most devastating test media that you have.
I could do that. Because if I don't do a serious strength test, the fans are going to crucify me for all the blades I've broken and damaged. So yeah, I'm going to go hog wild on this thing, no doubt there.
But I'm pretty sure we're all going to love watching this.
All right, I'll get to it.
Good luck to you, brother.
I'm here in my own shop in Towanda, Pennsylvania. Ben did a great job on his weapon, and I'm planning on doing something just as good. I am fortunate enough during this home build to have my very lovely wife being my camera person and audio person.
Your eyes are looking like they're up in the ceiling. Look down.
I'm looking right at that little thing.
I'm just telling you.
I want a new camera person. She'll actually get to see what I do, even though we've been together for 11 years. They just spent an hour in my shop in all 11 years. So Ben challenged me to use steels I haven't used before. So what I'm planning on doing is making canister out of drive chain and powdered steel, and then I'll peel the can off, slice it in half, and then sand mine it to a piece of 80 CRV2, which we've seen quite a few smiths use on their finale weapons. Fun with it, but I actually haven't had a chance to use it yet. Hey guys, it's been 2 weeks and I'm back.
Hey.
Hey, Jay. Did you have fun?
I had a blast. So here's my sand mine chopper. It's just under a 13-inch cutting edge. The core is 80 CRV2, new steel for me to play around with. And I took some drive chain and made a canister Damascus, and that's what I clad on both sides of the core.
How'd you like that Ultrex?
The Ultrex is nice. It gives you really good grip.
Cool.
And I did a little work for a meat packing plant a while back, and they were nice enough to give me these lovely bison jawbones. I've got 2 of them strapped to the table over there.
Well, that looks like some pretty brutal material, Jay. Good luck with it.
Let's have some fun.
Remember, Jay, it's not what your blade does to those bison bones, but what those bison bones do to your blade.
Well, hopefully neither of them do anything to me. So we're about ready to chop into some bison jawbones, and God, I hope this thing doesn't break in half. I'm gonna look like an idiot. Well, that didn't work the way I wanted it to.
It worked pretty good.
Whoa.
Wow.
That was wicked.
Well, she's still tight, straight, no damage to the edge, and still sharp.
Well, Jay, you really knocked that out of the park, man. Nice job.
Good job, man.
Appreciate it. All right, Mr. Baker. I got a challenge for you, bud.
Oh boy, now I'm on the chocolate block. Okay, all right, what's the challenge gonna be?
If you remember, we had somebody come on the show and do a Scottish basket hilt that really tore my wrist up and sent me to the ER. Scale and all that stuff is one of your things. So make me a Scottish basket hilt that won't tear somebody's arm up.
Okay, all right, I'm down for that. The basket hilt originated in Scotland in the 17th century and include an intricate enclosed guard intended to protect the user's hand. Although primarily used for defense, the basket hilt also had the ability to punch. The importance of properly designing the basket hilts is crucial in crafting a safe and effective weapon, as seen in previous forged and fired competition when a design flaw injured Jay's wrist.
That sounds like a good challenge, Dave.
It's going to be really important that I get the scale, the weight, and the balance right because I'm going to be doing the testing and I really don't want a handbreaker.
Looking forward to it.
Well, okay, I guess it's my turn to head into the shop. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I'm here at my new place on the northern neck of Virginia. My barn there is my workspace. I'm about, 1/3 the way through building my new shop space here. So as though self-shooting from home isn't enough, I've actually got large pieces of equipment being delivered while I'm trying to do this. Jay has challenged me to make a Scottish basket hilt. My goal is to get this as historically accurate as I can. The blade is a very straightforward broadsword blade. So it'll have double edges and a deep fuller down the center. It's the guard itself that becomes difficult. Getting that dimension and scale perfect. And as the historical recreation specialist on the show, it's important for me to nail it. All right, guys, been 2 weeks. Ta-da, there she is.
Nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Jay, it's got a lot of protection of the hand and the wrist, but at the same time, it's not going to get bound up, so I'm pretty sure you'll appreciate that. And the blade itself is 1095 and 5920, 300 layers.
It looks great.
For my test, I've got a shield. Now, this shield's been with me for like 15 years. This is a veteran of a half dozen shows. And then to follow that up, I'll do a sharpness test on this fig branch that I just trimmed off.
There you go.
Good luck, brother.
All right, so let's see how she does. Am I a little nervous? Yeah. Every time I swing a blade at something that you shouldn't swing a blade at, I get nervous. But at the same time, I'm excited. This is what I live for. This is what I love. It's okay.
That's awesome. I like that.
I was not expecting him to punch with that basket hook. Nice.
She's still straight. It's got an edge.
Like you always say, Dave, it's cutter.
She did good. She held up.
Nice job.
Thanks. So, hey, guys, it was really fun seeing your work and seeing you guys test that stuff at home. I'm looking forward to doing it again if your guys are up for it. But that was a great challenge. Y'all did beautiful work. I'm really impressed. You guys take care.
Later.
Right.
My name is Kevin Adams. I am a technical instructor for the United States Army, and I'm a part-time bladesmith. My grandfather and my father worked in the same steel mill together, so their influence enabled me to be able to pick up the trade fairly quickly.
My name is Eric Fontaine, and I have been bladesmithing now for almost 10 years. I stay with it because it's a comfort place for me. And just being able to create something, it's a really cool experience.
Well, Kevin, Eric, congratulations. You guys are both moving forward into round 3 of our competition, where we will be sending you home to work on an iconic weapon from history. And that weapon is the Serrated Tegha sword.
Lord have mercy.
Originating in India in the 18th century, this intimidating curved sword was known to be a great executioner. Its unique design features a nearly 3-foot-long blade with a split tip and serrated edges that could easily behead a man. Its 2-pronged tip is a powerful symbol throughout the Islamic world and is inspired by the legendary sword Zulfikar, which is believed to be descended from the Prophet Muhammad.
You guys have a lot of parameters to follow, so pay attention. You guys need to make a blade that is between 24 and 26 inches. That curve depth needs to be no less than 3.5 inches. You need to have a split at the tip that goes down between 10 and 11 inches, followed by a puncture hole at the end of that split. The curved edge and the back edge of the split need to be serrated and sharpened. Now you guys need to have a Conda-style hilt with a tailed pommel.
I have never seen anything like this in my life. It's got these crazy curves, it's serrated everywhere. It just combines so many different skill sets. It's gonna be a challenge to create.
You have 4 days at your home forges. We'll see you then.
Good luck.
Good luck to you as well.
I'm back in my home forge, and I'm ready to start working on this Serrated Tegha. The length and the curvature of the blade is something I've never had to deal with before. Start getting my blade forged to shape. Looks like a hockey stick. So now I gotta shape the tip. That's concerning for me because the only thing I have to cut metal with is a grinder. You don't have a lot of control. Not pretty, but it's a start. Getting ready to quench the blade. She's hard. The heat treat went good. There's a lot of work to do yet, but it's a good start. Plan for today is make that cut from the hole to the tip. This is a butt-puckering moment for me. If this doesn't work, I'm in deep trouble. Oh man, that is way too thin up there. What can you do? Now, my biggest challenge is the handle and guard. There's a lot of moving parts with it. Even though it's a lot of hard work and there's frustration, I had fun. That's why we do this craft.
It's good to be back here in my own domain. I'm going to be building a Serrated Tegha sword. I've never done anything even remotely close to it, so it's going to be an exciting build. I got the rough shape on my tip. I'm going to take it over to the vise and I'm going to start splitting it down the middle. While my steel's heating, I might as well be doing something else. This is going to be the guard. I grab the metal that I'm going to be using for my pommel and the guard. I start forging those into the proper dimensions. Right now, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. Time to quench. It's actually not bad. It's time to assemble this thing. There we go. That's more better, less worse. Now that I have a finished blade, I have a piece of roast beef. That is a nice clean cut right there.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the keel test. Let's find out what kind of lethal damage your Serrated Tegha will do. Kevin, you're up first. You ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Let's do this.
As Doug is getting ready to do the kill test, I can feel my heart rate is increasing. Is there a flaw in there anywhere? Did I heat treat correct? So I'm feeling not that confident.
All right, Kevin, let's talk about your serrated Tegha here. First up, the serrations you have here are indeed very sharp. You can feel every cut. Now, your handle construction is smooth. A little bit on the wider side on this handle, but it wasn't an issue in controlling your weapon. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will kill. All right, Eric, ready to take a look?
I'm ready, let's do it.
All right.
Kevin's blade performed absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he cut the dummy's head off. I've got to perform at least at that level to even have a chance at winning this thing.
All right, Eric, the serrations on your sword are sharp. When I rip through the shoulder, it cut easily. Now, your sword is much lighter. It tapers before it gets to the bend, making the sword easy to swing one-handed. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will kill.
Awesome.
All right, gentlemen, time for the strength test. Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I will be taking them and smashing these pots. Now, remember, this is not about how well your blades hold up through this punishment. Kevin, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Kevin, your handle, it's kind of fat, but your distance, your scale with your guard is great for me. As far as your blade goes, man, you've taken some pretty big hits and lost a lot of the tips of your serrations. Right. The blade is in one piece. It's still solid, nothing loosened up. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Eric, ready to get ugly?
Tear it up. I wasn't expecting sparks.
So Eric, right off, up here on your blade, you've taken some damage on these serrations. You lost a bit of those edge. It's still in one piece. You did a good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Bladesmiths, it's time to find out how sharp your blades are. This is the sharpness test, the jackfruit slice. To find out how sharp your weapons are, I'm going to take your weapon to cut the rope and release this jackfruit. Then I'm going to slice through it. Now, unlike the strength test, this is all about what the edge of your blade does to the jackfruit. Kevin, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, Kevin, let's talk about your edge here. So the sweet spot that we have right here for this sword took a lot of damage during the strength test. So in the initial cut on the rope, it didn't cut. Now, on the second cut, we use a little bit other parts of the blade where it is sharp. It cut the rope and it cut the jackfruit. So overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Good.
All right, Eric, your turn. So you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Eric, so it's the same thing. The sweet spot on this blade took some dulling on the strength test, and it did affect cutting the rope on the first attempt. On the second attempt, cut that rope, and it also cut the jackfruit in half. Overall, sir, your weapon, you will cut.
Excellent.
Well, gentlemen, we gave you an extremely difficult blade to build in the Tegha sword, and you both performed exceptionally well in our tests. But the judges have made the decision, and there can only be one champion. And the Fortune Fire champion today is Eric. Congratulations. Kevin, unfortunately, didn't make the cut, and Dave's going to tell you why.
Kevin, what this came down to was the heat treat in that blade, not getting it hard enough, and so many of those teeth just got pounded back into that blade. That's why we're letting you go.
Okay.
Well, Kevin, you did exceptionally well, but unfortunately, your time in the forge has ended. I'm going to have to ask you to please step out.
That was probably the most challenging thing that I've ever done. It had about half a dozen things that I'd never done before. I gave it my all, so I'm pleased with what I've brought to the table. and I'm ready to get back at it again.
Eric, congratulations. You are today's Forge and Fire champion. Feel pretty good?
I'm feeling amazing.
You definitely impressed us. Good job, man. Without further ado, there is a check for $10,000 waiting for you out that door. Go grab it.
Thank you. I don't even know how it happened. Oh, man. It's a surreal feeling. It still hasn't even kicked in. I recently got engaged, so I will be putting the $10,000 towards my wedding and my honeymoon afterwards. Love you, baby.
Well, Dustin, Joshua, congratulations, gentlemen. The two of you have made it through the first 2 rounds of this competition, and boy, was it a nail-biter. In this third and final round, we're going to send you back to your home forges for 4 days to build an iconic weapon from history. We want you to build this. The Tuareg Takoba.
The Takoba is a type of broadsword that has been used by the nomadic Tuareg people of North Africa since the 14th century. This double-edged lightweight blade was carried for self-defense on long journeys, designed to deliver lethal slashes and stabs against a rival warrior. Due to the Tuareg's aversion to iron, there is no exposed steel or iron on the hilt of this sword, so it cannot touch the user's hand. Measuring more than a meter long, this deadly weapon was seen as a symbol of wealth. Some members of the Takoba clan still carry this weapon today.
Good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you in 4 days.
My name's Justin Mavity. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Glasgow, Montana. Growing up, I've always loved knives, swords. Then I watched Forge and Fire. You see it, and you're like, I think I could maybe do that. I'm ½ an inch over. I'm happy with that. It'll be good. I got my blade heat treated. Here we go. Move on to the pommel now. I'm going to try to key out the bottom of this so that fits straight, and then I'll just have like a pommel nut that goes on top and holds everything together. Whether or not it works, we'll see. So I got my handle all together. I have the handle all epoxied. Everything's good, the nut's tight. Guards on these Takobas, they have stars and all other types of geometric shapes. And I had hat pins that I'd put in some of my knives. Definitely not a cowboy, but my brother passed away 10 years ago, and he was, so I think I'll throw this in there for him. Start to Dremel them out to kind of recess them into the handle. Not bad. Fairly happy with it. I am worried about the tang. I do wish I would have made the tang a little bit thicker, but I mean, it's out of my hands now.
My name is Joshua Kim. I'm 22 years old. I live in the Golden State, California, San Pedro. I started off bladesmithing in middle school. It was something in its rawest form, so simple, yet so abstract. And all you have to limit yourself as a bladesmith is your own imagination. And that's what I love about it. Now we're getting somewhere. It's getting to the length. Pretty darn big, so right now my main concern is to make that skinny. Never done a Fuller before. It was a little like your first love almost. Time for the fun part. It's time to quench my blade. I'm scared by the hardening process. If that fails, I just have a giant oversized butter knife. Quench it, but I see a bend in it. Not happy with that. I go for a second time. I know a lot of people that go into the quench multiple times. They have a lot of stress fractures and everything else. If I mess up again, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Golly, it's a little warped on the side. I'm not liking the bend in my blade, so I'm gonna be hardening it again. Oh my gosh. Yo, that is a good looking blade, my man. Shoot. I got 6 hours left. All I gotta do is make a handle. But what I'm gonna use, some good brass as the top and bottom, then put some walnut, space of copper, then a space of purple heartwood, then another piece of brass. That is a guard. For the handle construction, I'll just use leather. It's coming along quite nicely. And at day 4, I finished this blade. Well, golly gee willikers. Someone gonna give me 10 grand. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, please, please.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the keel test. Your Tuareg Takobas look beautiful, but the kind of beauty I'm looking for is the lethal kind. I'm gonna take your weapon, deliver some lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Dustin, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, Dustin, let's talk about your weapon here. First up, your handle construction. I like the ovoid feel of this. The flare you have there in your pommel actually gives great retention for this. Your tip is sharp enough to penetrate. Your edges are sharp when you're cutting out, and you can wield this to do that kind of damage on this Bladesmiths dummy. Overall, sir, a weapon like this, it will kill.
Awesome.
All right, Joshua, your turn. You ready?
Keep everyone alive.
All right, let's do this. All right, Joshua, let's talk about your weapon here. Your pommel right here could have used some weight to it, but because it's forward weighted and the fact that you have a very sharp edge, every slice that you can see is very deep into the Bladesmiths dummy. And more importantly, sir, your weapon, it will kill.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test. Our desert well chop. Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I will be chopping into our well house, as well as the well. And Dustin, you're on deck. You ready?
I guess so.
Okay. All right, we were doing so well for a moment there. What actually happened was, with insetting your blade down into this piece of wood, any of that leverage was just too much for the wood itself, and it popped it loose. Your tang is a little bit small, but what I do like to see is that your blade actually held up beautifully. I mean, your grain structure looks fine. This is an absolutely brutal test. Very well done.
Thank you.
Now, Dustin, you survived every one of the strikes except for the last one. Your guard gave way and your blade followed. So we consider this a catastrophic failure. You cannot continue testing your blade, but you're not out of the fight yet. How you feeling, Joshua?
Pressure's on.
All right, so you need to survive 5 strikes in order to be named Forged in Fire champion. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Well, Joshua, your blade is strong. It made it past all the strikes. Congratulations. Now, Dustin, unfortunately for you, that means your time here in this competition has ended because you did have a catastrophic failure. It was an honor watching you in our forge, but unfortunately, man, at this time, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off our forge floor.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm definitely crushed. I actually thought that recessing the sword into the tang a little bit would make it stronger, and that's kind of what bit me in the end, so definitely won't be doing that again. I'm definitely proud of this blade. I came here to challenge myself as much as I could, and I definitely achieved that.
Well, Joshua, congratulations, man. That means you are the newest Forged in Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Yeah! Oh my gosh, I made a sword, it didn't break. Oh my gosh! It was a hard competition, so this is unreal.